Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r// Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, why bother with advance notice if nobody reads it? The curious case of phantom browser zooms and corrupted images. Sometimes we all make mistakes. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Why bother with advance notice if nobody reads it? So I've been writing bits and pieces of this story for a few weeks, always to get a few sentences in, decide I was overreacting and canceling the post. Not after today. I'm currently a sysadmin for a 1,200 plus employee manufacturing facility that is owned by a German conglomerate. While we are an independently named company, we share the conglomerate's domain name for our email, a process that's always been a PITA since I started working there 6 years ago. The day I started, we were still using an on-prem Exchange 2003 server. A physical box that was so foobarred that I had a Heren's boot USB in the drive just to bypass Windows' failing boot process just to get it operational. It took me 18 months to convince them to upgrade to a 2012 non-R2 2010 Exchange environment, and another year to convince them to let us add a second server to create a DAG environment for redundancy and uptime. Cut to 8 months ago when I get added to a conference call announcing a big project for our entire business unit to migrate from individual on-prem solutions to a centralized vendor-managed solution hosted in Germany, with a plan to move from that on-prem to an O365 solution 6 months later. We as an IT department had numerous issues with the vendor solution: lack of ability to enact legal holds, EU-based privacy restrictions hampering the ability to have managers or other employees accessing the email of terminated employees, lack of on-site management of MDM, just to name a few. We voiced our concerns, raised our stink, and as expected lost all of our arguments. That being said, we started truly prepping for the migration about 6 weeks ago. I have been sending update emails out to all employees with what we know from a timing perspective, password requirements. Of course, this solution is on a separate non-trusted domain, so the passwords, and in some cases usernames, aren't synced, and in general doing what I can to prepare everyone for the coming storm. This is the conversation and final straw to actually type this up. $Me, your exhausted essayist. $Special ED, the engineering director who finally drove me over the edge. Yes, I'm so mentally exhausted I found it funny, sorry if it offends you. $Special ED, my phone mail isn't working, I'm too important to not have mail on my phone. Fix it now. $Me, sorry, can you tell me which step of the instructions you were having issues with so we can narrow down and get you working? $Special ED, I didn't read any of the instructions, I don't know the password, I don't have time for this. $Me, wondering why I bother with advance notifications at all. Well, Ed, without your password and the MDM pin, we're at an impasse. I can reset your password for you and request a new pin, but until those items are complete, the rest is rather moot. $Special ED, your instructions are all wrong. How do you know? You just said you didn't read them. I have meetings all day and don't have time for this, just take my phone and fix it. Me, contemplating a career change into something less stressful, maybe run for president or something. Company policy doesn't allow me to have your phone's security pin or passwords, so you'll have to be an active part of the configuration. If you'd like to book a meeting when you have a few minutes free, I think we could probably get you operational within 15 to 30 minutes. Special Ed, just text me when you're free and come get it. At this point in the story, I decided he just wants to complain. I get it. I've worked support long enough to know sometimes people just need to vent, and if you give them a bit, they'll yell themselves out and finally allow you to get to work. Not addition. Ed's too important for that. I tell Ed that I don't know the exact times I may be available, so the best way to reserve my time is to schedule the meeting to reserve it for him, and leave him to chill out some, or so I think. While I'm on a support call for another user, I hear a pounding on our IT room door, locked due to inventory stored within. I answer the door with my headset still on to Ed standing there screaming at me that his phone doesn't work. I'm wasting his time and all in all a useless member of not only the department but the company and society as a whole, not making that up. The user on the other end of my headset says something along the lines of sounds like he thinks he's a higher priority. Go ahead and work with Ed and call me back when you can. I walk into the engineering department and head to Ed's office where he immediately starts back into what a cluster of **** this whole situation has been, and how worthless I and the entire IT department have been. That's the point I broke. $me Ed, I understand your frustration and whether you believe it or not, I'm here to help you. With that being said, unless you calm yourself down, treat me with some respect and work with me to get your issue resolved, we will be done for now. $Special Ed, do you have any idea who I am in this company? $me Yes, you're the guy about to get hauled in front of HR and the CIO, because he wouldn't read the documentation sent to him for the past month and a half and wanted to blame and berate the one guy around that can potentially fix your problem. Does that sound about right? Silence. That's all I heard through the entire office. Silence. The kind of silence that makes you start immediately replaying the conversation over in your head, trying to remember if you accidentally cursed or what other career-ending decision you just made. $Special Ed, calmly, all right. Let me put something on your calendar for after lunch and we'll get this knocked out. $me Great, I'll see you in a bit. I survived that one, but there are still 5 phases to go. The curious case of phantom browser zooms and corrupted images. So a local business lady calls me over to check her laptop. She uses Picasa still, and a whole bunch of her images are all messed up. Like orange or transformed, etc. She says she's not doing anything but looking at them, and is worried she has a virus or something. This is an old Win 7 HP Elite book. That's strange, I say. Well, I happen to have an SSD, so why don't I just update that thing to Win 10, and give it the SSD? You'll love how fast it is. Plus I'll image your old drive so we have a good solid backup in case there is some real problem. I check the drive, system no problems, but I still can't figure out why her images are all messed up. Not all of them, but quite a few. I test the thing. It's working great. Give it back. She's loving it even with the different menu. She calls a few days later. She lives like 2 blocks from me, so I go over. She's like, why is my Facebook so big? She's using Chrome. I look and it's zoomed to like 500%. I show her how to unzoom it. I'm like, how did you do that? She's like, I didn't do anything. She's not stupid when it comes to computers either. Then she says she's having trouble scrolling sometimes with the trackpad. And she says the down arrow doesn't work. We go and look at her Picasa images, and it saves revisions, and you can see all the image backups. They've all been transformed using Picasa and saved, something I should have thought of earlier. Aha. No down arrow. Strange zooming. Corrupted images. Keyboard is going bad and sending shortcuts to the open window, and it's doing all kinds of strange stuff. Just once in a while. So when she's in Picasa, or a browser, it's zooming, or doing some strange image filter that's a keyboard shortcut. Ordered a new keyboard for her. $20 off eBay. Should fix it. Till then I gave her an external loaner and a mouse. All these years I'd never seen that one. Cheers. Sometimes we all make mistakes. This story comes from a few years ago when I was still working in the law field. It was right after the Christmas. The office was still pretty empty, but there were a few attorneys there. Most of the office took a holiday vacation, coming back after the new year. I get to work and sit down. I immediately get a call from one of the users sitting directly across from my office. Must have seen me coming, I guess. I answer, and they say to me nothing is coming up on my screen. I guess I don't even get a few seconds to myself before I start my day. Whatever, I could use some coffee anyway. I head over there and take a look. They look exhausted. They're sitting at their desk, staring at the screen with a dead look and hitting random keys on their keyboard in hopes the screen will come up. I take one look at them, then look to my left and notice an empty docking station. I calmly pointed to the empty dock and said that might be your problem. They slowly get up and look at the dock, followed by a long sigh and a "God damn it." We had a chuckle, and I went on my way. It's Monday, and I didn't want to be there. I decided to not take that extra vacation day so I could make some extra progress on a project. I could have started bitching about them and how stupid they were. But it's early and I had just spent 3 minutes trying to unlock my office door by hitting the unlock button on my car keys. At least I had my coffee.